Welcome, friends across the globe. In this presentation, spreadsheet applications, we'll be looking at Module 2, working with data. The very first item, as you can see on the screen, is data formatting in Excel. How do I format data in Excel? So it can give me a desired output or information needed. In Excel, the whole enter data in the sheet uses the same formatting by default, which can make the data look monotonous, dull, and difficult to read. So we are going to see when we come to the practical session, which I'm going to do a brief demonstration. We'll see what we call data cleaning, how to clean data, data cleansing. Some people call it data cleansing, some call it data cleaning, data formatting, different names. How to apply formatting in Excel. Following are the steps to apply the formatting. Select the range of cells on which formatting needs to be done. And how do you do that selection? You can just press Control. Then you highlight all the cells. Then select the suitable formatting tool from the toolbox or ribbon. Formatting can be observed on the sheet. You see it. The next subheading is formulas and functions. In spreadsheet, formulas process data automatically. Some of the commonly used formulas are, can you see, equal to sum. If you still remember what we did in Module 1, I did mention that this equal to sign, very, very important when it comes to Excel. So you see equal to, you press sum, open bracket. This you are seeing here as in Argentina, ARG1. It's just telling us the cell range. From what range is cell A1, for example, to cell B20. That's the range you want to format. That's the cells that describe it. Then we have another account, maximize, minimize, today, SQRT, then average. The next subheading, still we have basic Excel formulas and functions, a quick guide. Here are some samples of the various application areas that you can use functions and formula. Average, sum, if, trim. We have the concatenate, we counter, minimize, sum, if, COUNTIF, time formulas, today, and so on. Microsoft Excel is an invaluable tool for managing and analyzing vast data sets. You have numerous data sets with Excel, very flexible. It's just how much of these formulas and functions you are conversant with. You can use Excel formulas to find patterns in the values in your spreadsheet cells, conduct calculations on those values, and then return the result to the cell of your choice. For example, see this now A1 plus A2, which finds the sum of the range of values from cell A1 to cell A5. We'll see some of these demonstrated when we come to the practical. What is an Excel function? Function in Excel are already existing preset formulas in Excel. And I will tell you one basic difference between the two is that in case of formula, sometimes you have to put the formula yourself. The function are inbuilt. For example, is equal to sum A1 to A10. This A1 is cell A1 to cell A10. This function has up all the values in cells A1 through to A10. Then how to use functions in Excel. In the most recent version of Excel, you may discover and enter Excel formulas into particular cells of your spreadsheet by navigating to the top menu bar and clicking on formulas and selecting the type of formula. We're going to see that later. Then a quick tip for you to become a professional in Excel. The more you use the Excel formula, the easier it will be to remember and perform them manually. Excel has over 400 functions and the number is increasing from version to version. The formulas can be inserted into Excel using the following method. See that now? Step 1, open your Excel sheet and choose a cell. Step 2, type equal to, then press enter. Then select or impute the address of a cell, enter an operator, impute the address of the next cell, then press enter. Like I've said earlier, we'll do some of these practical thoughts to see what we are talking about. How to use formulas in Excel, an overview. Simple insertion by typing the formula in Excel. See what we have here in this diagram here. Then using the insert function option from formulas tab in Excel. Selecting the formula from formula tab in Excel, using quick insert to use recently used tabs in Excel. Can you see I said the difference between formula and functions? Some people or most people mix this up. They find it difficult to differentiate between formula and functions. See, formula, description, a specific expression that calculates a value based on input values. See the example, equal to A1 plus B1. It means this one will just add the content of cell A1 plus content of cell B1. But when we say function, I mentioned this earlier, a pre-built formula that performs a specific task. Example is equal to sum, open bracket, cell A1 to cell A10. Excel formulas and functions with examples. We can see them here, formulas and function with examples. Excel sum formula, subtraction formula, multiplication formula, division function, average function, if function, percentage formula, modulus function, concatenate formula, date formula, trim formula, length formula, ceiling function, that's length function, ceiling function. And see them here in this diagram also. Is equal to count A1 to A5. If you look at the first one, we mentioned this, it's equal to sum, it's equal to count, average, minimize, maximize, if function. See the list handlers, Excel floor function, Excel replace function. Can you see that now? Then we have the Excel substitute function, Excel now function, today function, Excel day function, Excel month function, year function, Excel time function. See the list, Excel date if function, Excel VLOOKUP formula. Then C25 Excel lookup formula, Excel power function. So what we are trying to say is that there is a difference between formula and functions. We're going to see some of these practically demonstrated. Now, we still have continuation. You see 27, the list, endless. Excel index match function, Excel sum if function, Excel average if function, Excel count if function, the offset function in Excel. We'll see all this later. Data validation and conditional formatting. What is data validation in Excel? It gives you the control to receive particular input from users. And how to use this include these steps. Step 1, click on the data tab in the ribbon, and you see it here. And you see what is being circled here. Then now select data validation. See that now. After clicking on data validation, a menu appears. Select data validation and dialog box appear. Then there are 3 tabs in the dialog box: settings, input message, error alerts. Take note of this important information. The data validation feature is not 100% reliable. If you will try to copy the data from cells which has no defined validation rules and then try to paste those cells to cells having data validation, then all the validation parts get vanished. Basically, validation rules get changed from the corresponding cell based on the copy cell content. In the setting tab, you can find options to set validation criteria. there are all the options for data validation in the setting tab. Let's see data validation and conditional formatting. And here we say input message tab, optional. Step 1, to open the input message tab, as we're saying it, see it here, input message. There, if you check to the right of the screen here. Step 2, make sure there should be tick mark on the when a cell is selected, show input message. Step 3, enter the title and text of your message in the fields. Step 4, as soon as the user selects the validated cell, it will show this message. See the message? Right here. Error alert tab. The error alert tab helps us to provide the option to control how the validation is enforced. There are 3 types of error styles in Excel: stop, warning, information. And here is the steps to follow also for that. Click on the error alert in data validation. Step 2, make sure there is a tick mark in the box, show error alert after invalid data entered. Step 3, you can select the desired error style in the style box. Step 4, enter the title and text of the error message and click OK. You can see all this also to the right of the screen. Then accept data validation list. Follow the below steps to add a drop-down list. Step 1, select a cell in which you want to add the drop-down list. Step 2, on the setting tab, enter list in the allow box. Step 3, type the items of your Excel validation list in the source box, separated by commas. For example, to limit the user input into 2 choices, type yes, then no. Step 4, now select the insert drop-down box in order for the drop-down arrow to appear next to the cell. Step 5, press OK. See it here, step-by-step depiction of how to apply data validation and conditional formatting. Now, example of data validation. Let's take the example of filling out a form. The form requires your name, which has a limitation of 3 to 7 characters. It requires your date of birth and has a list of cities for the exam center, not considering all the other requirements as of now. See the data validation, your name, your date of birth, exam center. To apply data validation with a word limit of 3 to 7 characters for the name cell, see step 1 here. Select the empty cell in front of the name. Then step 2, from the data tab in the ribbon, select data validation. Then step 3, a dialog box will appear, data validation. See data validation here. Step 4, in the dialog box from the setting tab, in the drop-down, select text length as shown in the image below. Then step 5, we want our user to enter the name between 3 to 7 characters. See them here. To use data validation as date of birth, step 6, select the cell in front of data that's date of birth now in Excel. Step 7, repeat steps 2 and 3. Then step 8, in this step, instead of selecting text length, you need to select date as shown in the image below. Then step 9, click OK. See step 10, select the empty cell in front of the exam center. Then step 11, repeat steps 2 and 3. And step 12, select lists. Step 13, add the names in the source column separated by a comma. See all this depicted in the diagram to my right. Data validation, conditional formatting. Conditional formatting in Excel. Excel conditional formatting is a handy feature that helps you visualize data and understand your spreadsheet better. Consider a worksheet that has tens of thousands of rows of data. Simply by looking at the raw data, patterns and trends will be very difficult to spot. So what then do we mean by conditional formatting? It is a feature in an Excel spreadsheet. It is used to maintain the status of the result easily. See some of the types of conditional formatting visualization. See how they appear. See employee here, sum of sales. We have them in dollars here. Then see all the graphs and the charts, golden field. Then we see employee again, sum of sales 2023 with all the amount in dollars, and see how they are being formatted here. Then types of conditional formatting visualization. See icon say how to use conditional formatting in Excel. See step 1, select the cells. Click on conditional formatting. From a set of preset rules, pick the required one. Enter the value and select the chosen format from the drop-down list. Have the flexibility to choose a different rule type that better suits your data. For instance, you can opt for greater than or equal to between two values, text that contains specific words or characters. Still continue conditional formatting. See the advanced conditional formatting with formulas here. Date occurring in a certain range, duplicate values. The advanced conditional formatting techniques. The formulas in conditional formatting, cell reference in conditional formatting, then managing rules. These are various areas where formatting techniques apply. Now, with this, before we go into question, I'm going to do practical demonstration. So it's time for us to just have a practical look on working with data. How do we format data? I mentioned earlier that in Excel, we actually have what is called data cleaning, data cleansing. So I will show us some of these as part of our demonstration. Now, if you look at this, you see my screen. You will see, let me start with yeah, look at this now. Let me show you how to format data or data cleaning. Let me use the language. Data cleaning, data cleansing. I can do two in one anyway, formatting, data cleaning before formatting. See, we have we have on this sheet different information. So the first thing you do when you have information, of course, as I click on cell E3, in the formula bar, it's showing me 4,195. How do I clean this data or format it so I can have the full number appear on the cell? See what I just did? Let me go back. You just position your cursor here and click or double click. It will give you. I come here, I do the same. Position your cursor here, double click to give you this. You want to see depreciation. This is not too clear. Of course, this one also, can you see that? This is part of what we call data cleaning, data cleansing, even formatting. Now, if for instance, you now decide to say, I want to format this particular column, all this column. And what's the format I want to do? I want to remove the decimal places. You know, it's in two decimal places. I want to format it to be in three. I want to format it to be three decimal places. Just watch. This is what we say you highlight the entire, is something you can do. Highlight the entire column, the whole item there. See, you come here after selecting the column you want to format. If I press a decrease decimal, if you apply this, it will decrease. Can you see it has reduced it to one decimal place? But we are saying we want to increase. This one is to increase. I want to increase it to four decimal places. See, I've increased it to four decimal places. There are other things you can do. You may also decide to remove the decimal places completely. That has been done. This is how to format. Some other time you may say you want all these items to align either to the right, to the middle, or to the left. See what I'm doing? Align to the left. Watch. As I click, align to the, when you click this, that you want to reposition, watch now. Then if you want it to align to the left, watch, align left, then align in center, and so on, because this one has been formatted. The next thing we want to do here is now to apply some of the formulas and function. And I will just do one or two here. If you want to apply, at least we want to sum together. We've shown us how to sum together before now. Let me use the, you press equal to sum. See what I just did now. Open bracket. See what we saw in that demonstration. I will go up, scroll up, pick the first cell, then shift, I'll put a colon, then I'll pick the last item and close the bracket. Can you see that if you look at this formula bar, it's got to sum, open bracket, E3, that's cell E3 to cell E29. Press enter. It will give you the total here. Now, let me take another function here, average function. Put here is equal to, see, I want the average of all the items there. Type average. Can you see something? Say is equal to, you pick average, then you open bracket. Again, we want the average of all this number. In reality, if you want to do the average the way we usually do, average, I'll first add up all the numbers, then I'll divide it by the total number. But here, once you just put average, what numbers or what are the cells you want to perform average on? So you type equal to average, open bracket, you pick the very first cell, then to the last one, then you press enter. Watch now. So automatically the average of all these numbers here from cell H3. How do I know it's H3? Look at here. Name box, cell H3 to cell H29. The average of all those numbers, 72,925.11. The next thing, we're still working with data. Let me show us another thing we can do. Mathematical function is what we have just done now. Now we want to use data now as maybe accountant or finance expert. I know in those days when we teach our students in school how to calculate NPV, net present value, we tell them, of course, is the present value of the difference between the future outflow and future inflow. That's NPV. When we say it's a project, what, why? And in Excel also, you can use Excel to also calculate net present value. And we keep saying it. By the time students are now used to writing exam, maybe the exam you want to write, that will involve you using Excel instead of the biro paper accounting. This is how to use Excel to calculate NPV. There are still other inbuilt function that is direct. You can just add all your number together, then you go and get your NPV. We're going to do that in our subsequent presentation when we even come to certification course in Excel application. We'll have that also upcoming. So all you need to do here, in finance, as we are talking of investment appraisal, year one is usually what? 1. That's year 0 is usually having a present value of 1. That is constancy. The general formula, all I just need to do, just what? Equal to 1. You say equal to 1, divide by, I'm opening a bracket. If you check this now, you see the cost of capital is 10%. So when you had, because the general formula is 1 over 1 plus rate, close bracket, raised to power n, where n is the number of years. And when you had 1 plus 0.1, it gives us 1.1. This is 1.1. I close this bracket. Then see, I press my shift key. I want to raise to the power now. See what I'm doing? You press your shift key, then you press 6. I have my raise to power here, 6. Then raised to power what? That is our n, number of years. If I'm using a biro and paper, instead of raising power, just raise to power, put n. The n is number of years. And which year are we looking at here? Year 0. I'll come here and say 0. Watch. That's cell D5. I will press enter. See the constancy of year 0 now. Present value of the expected outflow in year 0 is always 1. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the beauty of Excel, the flexibility. If I choose to just drag, watch now, if I drag here now, I've done year 0 to be 1. Can you see automatic? He has given me the other years. That is the beauty of using Excel. But then, if you still want me to do for year 1, I can say equal to, I will say 1 slash, I will open a bracket. The cost of capital is 0.1. So I add it to 1, that is 0.1.1. I close the bracket. I press my shift key again. Then I press 6. Raised to power year what? Watch. Instead of our n is number of years. This year 1 now. Click. Can you see? 0.90909. If I want this to 4 decimal places, go here also, reduce it. When you reduce this, I don't need to insert that formula again for other years. I will just do this, watch, automatic. That's giving me the discount factor for year 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then what's the present value? The $5 million you are investing today, applying the present value, that discount factor of 1, is still having the same $5 million today. And how do we get that? Equal to, I will click on this, shift key, press 8 on your keyboard, then I'll come and click this, cell F5. Look at here, cell F5. Then I will say enter. Can you see? It's still giving me negative 5 million. Everything dollars or euro or naira or pounds, as the case may be. And once you do for year 1, do you know the interpretation? It means the $5 million you are investing today, that's year 0, as a present value of still the same $5 million. But let's see, for year 1, I will give you the interpretation. Again, all I need to do is equal to, I click on this. That's the money I'm expecting in year 1. Inflow now. In year 1, if click that, you press shift and press 8 on your keyboard. That's star. Then I click on the discount factor for year 1. Watch. Do you see the interpretation? Because of present value, purchasing power of money. They will tell you discounting is the opposite of compounding. Now see something here. The 1.2 million naira I'm expecting next year as a value, as a present value of $1,090,909. I keep saying this. You have to bring those money you are expecting tomorrow. What is the purchasing power, or what is the equivalent of that money today to enable you to take decision whether the project is really worthwhile or not? So if you have this in Excel, I don't need to repeat that formula again. I can do something like this. Watch. So automatic, see the interpretation. The 900,000 I'm expecting in year 2, discount factor of 0.8264 has a present value of 743,802. The same interpretation. Now let's use some of our inbuilt functions and formulas now. I want to now find the net present value. See it here, net present value, NPV. All I just need to do, I can sum everything, both the negative. Then you go to the inbuilt, just watch. You highlight all these. See here, auto sum immediately. Can you see this very clearly? Auto sum. It means if I invest $5 million today, that is the now, the present, with expected future cash inflow, 1.2 year 1, 900,000, year 2, 870,000, year 3, 650, year 4, 800,000, year 5, and the various discount factors associated to them, I'm going to arrive at a negative net present value of $1,570,950. By implication, the project is not worthwhile working with data in Excel. Now with this, we go and take some questions. And like I said, those questions, because this is multiple choice question, even the tests, the practice question, either for the certification course you are taking, or is it the digital challenge, that's digital accounting and finance challenge, is going to be multiple choice. But some of those questions, you may not be able to attempt them if you don't know how to use Excel. So we'll go to questions. See question number 1. Question 1. So what is the main purpose? What is the main purpose? What is the main purpose of data formatting in Excel? See the option to remove duplicate values from a data set, to organize and present data in a readable and visually appealing manner. See, to delete unnecessary rows and columns, to create new spreadsheet files. What is your answer? The correct answer here is B, to organize and present data in a readable and visually appealing manner. See question 2. Which of the following is an example of a function in Excel? Equal to sum A1 to A10, cell A1 to A10. We're talking of function now. B, A1 plus A2, B2 is equal to B3 star B4, the 100 plus 250. I know if you have really followed the demonstration I've done earlier, you will know the answer to this one is A. Then question 3, what does the COUNTIF function do in Excel? It's another very important question. A, counts the number of numerical values in a range. B, counts the number of cells in a range that meet a specific condition. C, counts the total number of formulas in a worksheet. D, counts the total number of characters in a cell. So which one are you picking? The correct answer is B, counts the number of cells in a range that meet a specific condition. Question 4. What is the main difference between a formula and a function in Excel? See the options we have again. A function is user-defined, while a formula is pre-defined. Can you see that? A formula is manually written by the user, while a function is a built-in command in Excel. See, a formula is used only for calculation, while a function can only be used for text formatting. A function is a combination of text and number. No. C is no. A function is user-defined, while a formula is predefined. The correct answer here is B. You can check the notes. Then the last question, what is the purpose of data validation in Excel? To permanently lock spreadsheet cells, to allow only specific types of data to be entered in a cell, to remove all formatting from a cell, to automatically sum the values in a column. The correct answer is B. Once again, thank you for your attention. This is Module 2. We are going to see Module 3, 4, and 5. We'll follow this module. If you have any question, you can reach me. That's my contact there. Thank you.